Hello. Uh, if you're going through the uploads I have as of recording this and hopefully posting it, you might notice that there have been a lot of uploads recently. Uh, I had one 6 days ago, then another one 3 days after that, then I had one yesterday. Actually, no, I think I uploaded two of them in the same day as I'm recording this. So, in the last week, I've already posted four. Uh, that is just because two of them were non-Yu-Gi-Oh related. I've been playing Kingdom Hearts and I was surprised I finally beat some bosses, and I saved the recording on my PlayStation just so I could upload them to watch back later on. Uh, the other two were somewhat Genesis ideas, and the last one was a Maso video. And I've been playing more still. Uh, the event that's going on currently is the Dice Rally, and I've been playing the Dice Rally and doing my usual rules where I'm not allowed to use the loners. I have to use my Maso lists. Uh, but I've mainly been doing this because of the rewards. Because you get rewards for beating rounds, but that doesn't really matter. I'm not really winning consistently enough for that to happen. You get rewards for obtaining dice, which is just gems, and since I'm a free-to-play person, it's very helpful. Just building up a lot of gems. And then, these, the card rewards. Now, I have been very unlucky because, as you see, I got an N there, another N there. I got a UR, but it's useless. I got an N that I already had several copies of, and it's not good. I got an N that's essentially useless. So I'm not getting the best. I'm dodging all of the good cards, but all of the cards you get from this are Legacy Pack cards. You check. These are all cards you can get from the Legacy Packs. And that is quite good, because there are some good things from the Legacy Pack. Just scrolling through real quick, there are a few generic, Cyberse Link stuff. This one's not the best, but it's something playable. We got Seven Tools of the Bandit. I'd play Legacy of Yada or Jar at this point. Summon Limit's pretty good. Extranet's not that bad. Parallel Twister's fine. The Cup of Ace. I'm not a Danny Twitch sub, but hey, MST is great. Fissure is honestly fine. I could get Sky Striker Ace Rose, which gives me a Sky Striker monster. Because I have one, I could get the Bunny Blast or the Ram for my Chakanai that I have. I can get Ray. I didn't even notice that until now. Which would just give me more usage towards my Sky Striker package that I have somewhat pulled. And then as I go a little bit higher up, Detonate the Leader, pretty nice. Just once per turn, start damage stuff if it battles a non-Link 3 or higher Link monster. So if it's a Link 2 or lower, you can blow something up. And then you can tribute a card at point 2 to blow something up, which is nichely useful. Mind Crush is somewhat playable, but it's when we get closer up top that we see the very good cards. I'd say Prime Material Dragon's pretty good. It's a tribute summon monster that's a discard version of Stardust Dragon's quite nice. Keep going up. Croco Dragon's an okay card. TG Mighty Striker could be helpful in unlocking TGs in the future. Samurai Destroyer is just a great card. The Light and Dark Ends have their own niche usages. Stealth Kraken Spawn for if I can ever get Stealth Kraken, because this would help for my water deck. We get to the URs. Your Finished would go great with my That's 10. Origami Goddess is just a funny card to put in any deck, because who knows, maybe you'll win it super big and draw a million. Honestly, I can make a case for playing Vanity's Ruler in some of my lists. What's this one? Oh, it's Pluto, that's why. And then I think the best card I could possibly get from Dice Rally is Stealth Kraken, because then that puts my list a bit closer to what the creator of this series has, Alex Simo, where he has Stealth Kraken, which then drastically improves the quality of my water deck. and arguably my rank 4 deck, it does have some conflicting synergies, just because it would turn on my monster's water too, which means I'm locked out of specifically two of my Xyz monsters, which one of them is also gatekeeping two others. So if I have Kragan on field, I'm locked out of 4 cards from my extra deck guaranteed. But a Kragan is a Kragan, and its interruption on my opponent's turn, I want it. So I've been playing the event in hopes of maybe pulling it from landing on a UR. I was hoping I could get it here, because if you look, there's also not that many. Like, of the URs, there's what? 8, 16, there's 20. There's 20 URs, and I got, like, definitely the worst UR of the bunch is this one. Like, all this one does, by the way, it makes your graveyard warrior monsters, and then during your end phase, you can blow up your monsters. And it's all to set up Immortal Bushi, which is a card that came out like decades ago that wasn't even really good when it came out. But regardless, all of today's recordings are going to be, or batches, are going to be from the Dice Rally event. The first two are actually going to be from the deck I'm going to show you here, which is a slight edit to the Maso rank 4 spam deck. I took out a few cards that just weren't really working too well for me, unfortunately. I couldn't handle drawing them so much when they just really did nothing. So I cut the Raid Raptor that could increase the levels of all Raid Raptors by 1 if it's in the grave, because I don't have anything I can make with it anyways. And yes, it's one last Raid Raptor so my only Raid Raptors are these 4, but I'm honestly kind of fine with that. Like, it was just supposed to be a small package anyways. The deck still has a ton of dark level 4 pendulums, and I even added in Harvest Angel of Doom, just as another 4-star dark, and he's got 18 at least, just because I do want to at least have the opportunity to make this card. Going first, I don't really, but going second, it can happen. Any other? Oh, so a while ago I pulled Toy Box. And when I saw this as a White Forest player, I was ecstatic. Because I love Toy Box. And for limited, Toy Box is quite nice. Because the effect most people know is this second effect. From your hand deck, Monster Zone or Grave, choose 2 monsters with toy in their names, set them, or that can set themselves as a spell and trap, do it. Which the targets for this are Toy Soldier, Toy Tank, and Toy Magician. And Toy Magician is an old card, and it's not good. Like, it's a flip summon card, that doesn't have a flip effect, and then it comes back during the end phase if your opponent killed it when it was a spell trap. However, getting even a single one of these means Toy Box is online. Which just mean Toy Box reads Sakuretsu armor every turn. And I pulled the best one, which is Soldier. Because Soldier not only can summon itself, but it searches you Toy Box on summon. Which is insane. Which means, so if I see Toy Soldier but not Box, well, I can just normal summon the Soldier. And, hey, cool, I got Box. If I see Box, I can go, cool, Box, set the Soldier. I have a Sakuretsu armor. Is it good? Absolutely not. But it's better than what I've been playing. And Soldier, if I have Box already, he can search level 4 lights. I actually haven't even checked. Let's see. Like, what level 4 light monsters do I even have? Full effect, light. Level 4. Oh, I could search my Thunder King Ryo. That's probably a good target. It's good for the Spellcaster deck because it's got Rilliona, and it's also got Spenta. So that would be a good target. I could search Star Ryziel. Ignore the Cartesia. It's from doing a friend thing, so I got the branded free structure. I could search Utopic Onomatopoeia if I ever get better cards for that. Like, case in point, I just have a lot of cards I can be searching with this card. Funnily enough, it can search Silent Swordsman, which turns this card into a spell negate. And do I have the? Oh, I'm pretty sure on one of my accounts I have this one, and it would be very funny if it was this one, because then he could search for this. Which, if this dies, it goes into this, which just says no more spells for anyone. But oh well. But you can see I've got a lot of cards this searches, so it would probably help me a lot. So I am so glad I pulled this. It's phenomenal that I've been able to get so lucky with my pulls. I watch Alex's series and I look at the stuff he's getting. I'm like, wow, he is getting some complete garbage. Like, oh my gosh, it's that bad. And then there are a lot of games that he's losing, unfortunately, because he's not reading any card that was printed after the year 2019. But I mean, hey, he's a Yu-Gi-Oh player. That's kind of what we're known for, not reading our cards. The other deck that you'll be seeing today in these replays is this one. Because I started off the event doing the rank 4 spam, but the issue I came running into a lot was I was getting a lot of free monsters early on because I'm on round 2 of the event. But in round 1 I kept landing on monster spaces, and it was monsters that I just couldn't do anything with, and they weren't level 4s. So it's like, cool, I have a useless monster on my field. And it was turning off the Curtain Raiser, I believe. It's the pendulum that can summon itself if you control no monsters, and it's a 2200 vault alone. Because I didn't have nothing on field, I couldn't do that effect, which meant I just have a level 2 idiot sitting on my board, and I can only normal summon once, so it's no Xyz on turn 1 for me. So I decided, well, I'll play a deck that can at least use those cards for material. I apologize for yawning, I'm very tired, it's midnight for me. So I'm like, okay, I'll use it on a deck that actually has a reason to be playing some of these cards, which is my Cyber deck, because this whole deck's goal is just link summoning. The link monsters I'm making, they don't really give me an interrupt. They're just there for adaptability, honestly. And my go-to play nowadays is get 2 Cyber monsters on board to summon Wicked, because Wicked can't be killed by battler card effects. That's it. That's the whole goal. And then I got 3 copies of Tie Strike, so if I open Wicked and Tie Strike, then assuming they don't get rid of Tie Strike, they try and crash into Wicked, I Tie Strike and damage step, they lose their monster and take big damage, I keep Wicked and I'm fine. I don't have to take anything. And then because I have so many 2s in this deck, I actually pulled a Sprite double cross recently, so I'm playing it because of the second and third effect, because you target a monster on your opponent controls or in their grave. I can take a monster they control and put it to a zone a link 2 points. So below him, to the left of him, or bottom right of him, below him, left of him, right of him, below or to the bottom right, below. Or I could special summon a monster from their grave to the same zones. So if I draw it, I can sometimes steal cards from them, which is quite nice. This deck is the one I've been having the most success with in the event. I was really hoping it would be the rank 4 deck, but I'll just leave that for the ranked ladder, where I'm not getting all the free stuff. Some of the amazing cards I've gotten from this event, by the way. I got a second copy of Vampire Sucker for the zombie deck. Woo. I got a copy of Dark End Dragon, which is okay, that at least does something. I pulled this from one of my winning packs, which was nice. Another copy of Phalanx. I actually got a second Fog Blade, which is crazy. And I got my second Majesty Maiden, which opens up the True Draco stuff just a little bit more, which is quite nice. And I think that the rest of the stuff I've pulled is it's just been garbage. I think the best thing I have here now... Oh, I did just get a Chalice. I got a Chalice from my last game, and then I got White Stingray for the water deck, and technically Blizzard Falcon for the water deck. And I pulled Fluffle Dog. I've been checking my Fluffle package. I've got a few of them, and I do have Cruel Whale, surprisingly. And I believe I have a singular copy of Chain, and then I have Cotton Eater as another Edgent. And I also have Edgent Fight for Light, too. So I technically could do this, but it's not good. I would need so many other cards to make this even remotely playable. But I have yapped for almost 16 minutes. Let's just get to the games. And again, I apologize immensely for all the yawning. I'm just very tired. So let's get to the first game. I believe this was against a Empty Jar Burn. Yep. This one, I only really liked the replay of it because of how it ended. Because, yeah, it seems a lot of the times my wins in these events are against, like, burn decks that just didn't draw the right cards at the right time. So, this is with the rank 4 spam. I wonder, is this one of the games that it gave me a free rank 4, or is this like my first game in the event? I can't remember. I feel like this was my first game in the event. So I won the coin toss. I chose to go first. No, it was not my first game, because I had this card. See, like, exactly my point of why I switched off. The game gave me this, which is a 6-star monster. At least it has an effect that does something. It protects itself. But it's a 6-star monster. I don't have any tuners, I don't have any synchros, I don't have any links. I just have rank 4 Xyzes and then cards I can use the rank 4s to go into occasionally. This hand would have, at the very least, set up Curtain Raiser, then normal summon this, and then, like, I don't know, I go into Rafflesia, or maybe go into the Evil Swarm Nightmare for double interaction on my opponent's turn. So then I could have maybe 2 Book of Moon effects and a Special Summon Negate. But no, I've got this idiot, so I can just, like, set a card or summon a card, and that's it. So just put him to defense, set the stupid Curtain Raiser, and set the Trap Tricks. They go Morganite, I'm like, oh great, I'm going to be dealing with some fun stuff today. They go set 2 monsters, set 2 back row, then Book of Taiyu. I'm like, I regret not setting this rank up magic. So pitch, we draw 5. I'm like, please do not have another one so I can Harpy's Feather Duster you for your life savings. Thankfully they didn't have another one. And the music changes because the game already knows it's basically over. So I go Duster, they go Gift Exchange, or Present card rather. And then they chain Magical Thorn and Magical Thorn. Now had they just done this as early as soon as I draw my card, I think they would have just won immediately. But whatever. Oh no, because I would take 6k. So I blow up their board. Because they've discarded so many cards, I have enough 4s in the grave to banish 4 monster slots. So I just banish the other Curtain Raiser, I draw, and I draw on a Time Thief Winder. I'm like, okay, that's pretty nice. So I go Winder, search the Power Reserve, set her, and set my Imperm. Then I go Raider's Knight, because I want to destroy this without triggering it. So I rank up into Blaze Falcon. Then I normal summon the Sassy Rookie, go with Blaze Falcon to pop the known Morphing Jar, and then I went Sassy Rookie into this because at least Sassy Rookie would be protected. So they mill 5, there go, like, all my good waters. In the process, they milled my Mimicry Lanius, so I use it to get Sharp Lanius back, just in, I don't know, maybe getting something in the future. They draw 2 from the Morganite. They set 1, they banish a Morganite and pitch a Morganite. Just like, okay. I decide I'm just going to do this now. Frickin' talents be damned. Then they just set 1. So during the end phase, my card dies. So now I go Power Reserve, and I summon the Chrono Quarter. I draw, and I get the Ancient Warriors card. Not link, then synchro. Wow. I Xyz 3 4s into Masquerade because it's a monster negate during the battle phase, and it inflicts 800 damage. So they go present card. I'm like, ugh, annoying but fine. That present card sealed their fate because if you noticed, my hand wasn't the best. It was what, freaking Noir Lanius, Crystal Shark, Sharp Lanius, Ancient Warriors. So it's like, okay, I could kill something in battle, which will let me summon the Ancient Warrior guy, and I can like Sharp Lanius normal summon. So that's what knowing me, I'd probably attack with Masquerade to be safe. Then so I go Masquerade in, kill whatever, summon the thing. That's 1,000. That's 3,000. That's 17. Plus the 8, 25,000. So I put them down to 500 life. But that's not killing them. But now I can, because I drew Regulator and Adjuster, so I can normal summon the Regulator, special summon the Adjuster because I summoned a Time Thief, then Xyz into Gagaga Samurai. And now, because an Xyz monster was summoned, I get to summon the Xyz Slide Dolphin. And because I have a water on field, I can have its attack to summon the Crystal Shark. Then I can turn these two into Diamond Crab King for an extra 3k. Target the Gagaga, have double attacks, change this to attack, change him to 3,000 attack, go battle phase, attack with the Masquerade. It was freaking Cyberjar, and I knew it was going to be some BS, so I negate that crap. Hey, boom, baby, take your negate and 800 damage, and would you look at that, 1,000, 19, 3k. Bye-bye! Oh, that game felt so nice! Now, instead of Gaga Samurai, I could have made the Dino for an extra 1,000 burn and gone battle with him. But I figured, would I rather have 1,000 burn plus 27 from the Ragnazero? Or would I rather have, which is 37, and then he sets up a extra 1,000 damage whenever he dies? Or would I rather have a Gaga Samurai? I decided with the Samurai. But I saved that game just because of that final clip. This next opponent, I believe, was just playing the Loner deck. Yep. They were just playing the Loner deck of the Shining Sarcophagus. It's so funny that this Loner is essentially just what you should be building with Shining Sark. I guess I would take out the Dark Magician and the Trap, and then I guess put 2 Maxi. Oh, I guess also take out the more Marshmallow, just Foolos or something. I don't know. It's not. It's so expensive to make this deck, which is so crazy that it is. Like, why did you make it so incredibly expensive to play this horrible deck? I don't understand Master Duel sometimes. But, regardless, second game of the night. I can't remember when these were recorded. I feel like this one was like a day later. It might have been same day, though. So I won the coin flip again. You're probably noticing I only win if I win coin flip. So they got Laundry Trap, and this is the game I had Vampire Sucker. This game was hilarious. So I go Abyss Soldier. I'm like, well, Vampire Sucker at least gets me a draw, assuming they monster hand trap me. On summon, they Veiler, the freaking Abyss Soldier. I'm like, oh, I'm playing against a genius. Let's go. So I'm like, well, they put a monster in grave. I'll summon it back so I could get the Vampire Sucker draw. And they Veiler the Sucker. I'm like, I have just baited 2 pieces of interaction for no cost whatsoever. Thank you. So I use Crystal Shark on the Abyss Soldier. Then I make these into Ragnazero and set my Phantom Knight sword. I love this Phantom Knight's card just because it's protection, and it also lets me use Ragnazero on whatever I want, and it also revives my Phantom Knight Xyz. So they go Shining Sark, search the Magician Girl, which is already a mistake. You don't need to search Magician Girl if you already have Sark. Uh, then they get Sark, then they activate it. You can only activate one per turn. It's useless. They go Ties That Bind. They get more Marshmallow and Gadget Trio. Gadget Trio gets them the Stronghold to Hidden Fortress. Oh, that's also a mistake. And they normal summon Silent Swordsman 0. Didn't even go battle with her into the sucker. But this board is difficult to out just because, like, oh, okay. Like, I can't target anything, and then, they have the Sakuretsu armor, and I can't battle anything except this. So, in Standby, they summon that. It's a huge guy. I'm like, I would love to blow this up with Ragnar Zero, but this protects it. I'd love to blow this up, but it protects itself. So, I just duster away their 2 sarcophaguses and the Stronghold. I go Sucker to put a useless Veiler on their field so I can draw. They Ash Blossom the draw. I was so happy, dude. That was so amazing. So I normal summon the Noir Lanius, go battle 100 into you, 16 into you, 24 to kill that. In battle phase, I activate this to destroy the DM girl. I draw into the Ancient Warriors card and send the stupid Rain Raptor so I can battle into the Gadget Trio and steal it. Dude, I love doing that so much. So they get to set another copy of Stronghold. I'm like, okay, that's annoying, but they don't have the Sarcophagus, so as long as they don't top deck Sarcophagus, I'm fine. So I set the Trapple Nightmare in case they happen to get another copy of the girl, because they can normal summon her. Or actually, that wouldn't even matter then. So they summon Silent Magician Zero they had from draw, and then they also summon the Stronghold. And then they make Cerberus, and then kill their Gadget Trio, and then just give up. That game, ooh, so awesome. I believe I actually had another game that was against the structure, and I think I did win, and I guess I just must not have saved it, but they went into the... I can't even pull up the deck list to see it. They went into him, Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, who, for a limited like deck, is very hard to out, because he's very generic, just 3 monsters, different names. And then they made him with a level 7 or higher, I believe. So I couldn't target it or destroy it with card effects, which means I had to kill it by battle. And then he went to destroy something by battle, and then all they have to do is just select gain 1500, and I can no longer get rid of this. Or banish a card on field, just immediately. That's enough to really screw me over. But thankfully my attack increasing trap was enough to make me crash with them. And that won me the game. But on to the next one. This is a Sky Striker deck. I think it could be better, but hey, it's whatever. Are they even playing Hamp? But this was with my Link deck, which I should be able to see my own. And this is how it was looking at the time, just same as it's been now, I believe. So I lost the coin toss, and they selected to go first. They got Origami Goddess, and look at this. I had like 6 games with this thing on my board using the rank 4 thing, and I'm like, I can't, man. I need to get something better. They Origami Goddess, and they get Tails the first one. I'm like, okay. So they normal summon the Rose, link both of these into a Camellia. I'm like, oh, that's good for them at least. So they send the Engage. Then they go Kagari. Then Kagari to get back the Engage. I really wish I had Camellia. I love her so much, especially for limited. They go engage, search Widow Anchor. I'm like, okay, that's a fine enough play, I guess. Then they maneuver to blow up my card. I'm like, well, I guess the rank 4 deck would have been fine. Then they make Shizuku, set 2, and then they search the multi-roll. Like, okay, I know one of these is a monster negate, and that's all I know. So I decide to normal summon Basila Lima, and because I summon to the zone it points to, I get to summon the Sea Archiver, and I make Cyberse Wicked. I activate backup at Ignister, and they immediately Widow Anchor. Now, I'm going to spoil something. This card they have set is Linkage. I think they intended to Widow Anchor, then chain Linkage to send the Widow Anchor, so they could negate and steal my Wicked. But because they have Shizuku, they would have to send the Shizuku, and I think they realized this way too late. So I summon the backup, then I backup Chain Link 1, and I still activate this Chain Link 2 to banish for cost, just so I can chain block. So I lose my card effect Destruction Protection, but I do gain, like, Ash Protection. So I search and then pitch the Doyon, use the Basila, it doesn't really matter. Since I have an Adignister, I can summon Hiyari. I contemplated using the Hiyari effect to tribute the backup to search for Kachiri, but I decided against it. So I summon the Nightmare Phoenix to pitch the client, and since I'm co-linked, I'll get to draw. They go Linkage, I'm like, oh, that sucks for me. So they send Shizuku, summon a Kagari. I get to draw, and I draw Tie Strike. How nice. And then they get back the Widow Anchor instead of the Engage, which feels incredibly wrong. So I go Idol Reborn, target the Doyon, then Doyon effect to get back the backup Adignister to my hand. Then I go Tie Strike in Damage Step, protect my Doyon, deal 15, they charming me, which is like, okay. Go 14, go 19, and I just decide to pass, because it's like, all I can make here is stuff that doesn't really matter. I don't need to give them more draws. So I know that they have a Widow Anchor that's a negate and a steal, which sucks. But I have Idol Reborn Engrave, which is good, just because I can get back Tie Strike for my next turn, which is very, very good. So they go multi-roll, then they go maneuver to pop, and if they try to pop the Wicked. First line of text. The only card they could have popped was Phoenix, and they tried to pop Wicked. At least if they tried to pop Doyon, it would make sense. Also, Basila Lima's attack is permanent, hence why I put it on Wicked, by the way. So then they, not even on a Chain Link 2, just after it resolves, go Widow Anchor to negate and steal. I'm like, that sucks, but fine. They target him, get rid of him, pass. Since they got back the Widow Anchor, instead of, I don't know, searching for getting the Engage back, they could have just Engage back, search Rei, normal summon Rei, turn her into the third Kagari, to get back Engage again, and then get Widow Anchor. And that gets them 2 draws, and the Widow Anchor, and Rei access for the rest of the game. And that's still out my board. Like, what? But, whatever. So during end phase, multi-roll triggers, they set the Widow Anchor again, so I'm like, another negate and steal. And they set the linkage, so they can send a card to summon something. I'm like, okay, I'll just have to deal with that. I draw Picari, I'm like, that's a great top deck. So I normal the Picari, they go Widow Anchor on Picari, and then they try and go linkage to send the Widow Anchor. Fun fact, linkage says, and if you do, so it fizzles. So Picari goes to their field and is negated. But honestly, I kind of had this game in the bag now. Because I link these two into a Decode Talker, which gives me an extra deck monster. Doyon effect gets back Idol Reborn. Now I can go back up at Ignister, summon herself to this zone. Yeah, and it's over. I can just search for any dark Cybers I have in my deck, which I think I was just going to search for the Karibo, just to get him out of my deck. And then I can revive Doyon again, thanks to Idol Reborn, and get a card back. And then I can use Idol Reborn on attack deck to banish it to get back a Tie Strike, and then use Tie Strike if I needed, but I didn't need to. I had enough damage there. And now for the last game. This is the most recent game. Actually, oh yeah, the 15th, the 16th, the 17th, and 18th. This game was recorded right before I started doing this recording. And it is against, I just believe, rank 10 trains. Yeah, just a pretty standard rank 10 train list. Nothing too special, I guess. And this game, I was gifted by God this game, because like all the games previous, my opponents always had like back row removal, like mass back row removal to just negate all of my stupid cards that I use to not die. So in this game I have that stupid continuous spell, and they have this useless baby dragon. So I'm going first. I go set Dandy and set Paleozoic. I'm not even going to set Tie Strike. They normal summon the frickin' Pegasus, and special summon the Derek Crane. I'm like, frick. Because now I'm put in a situation where I can banish one of them and hope that they don't have the rank 10 or the level 10 Super Express Heavy Bullet Train, I believe it's called, that summons itself if you control an Earth Machine. Because if I banish the Railcar, then they just use the Freight Train and that guy to make a 10, like Gustav, burn for 2k, then make Lieb, and then Lieb just destroys me, because it would kill my Dandy and then I think 2 more tokens. Or honestly, no, Lieb just outright destroys every token I have, so I'm left with nothing and they have a Lieb. Or I could banish this, and then if they have the Bullet Train, they still get to do it using the Railroad, but then they don't get a pop at the least, so I get to leave with 1 token unscathed. But I was just like, I'll wait for them to activate it, because then it cuts out a few corner cases, and I can also lock them out of attacking this turn. Because if you didn't know, you can only attack with Xyz monsters the turn you activate this. So I down Amishes the target, and because now the target's gone, this does not change its level. I pitch Basila Lima, because card effect protection is nice, and they set 1. So I draw Clock Wyvern, and at first I was content to just make the Cyberus Wicked using the Clock Wyvern, and then just pass with Wicked and Dandy. But they made that not an option, because they flip Urgent Schedule. I'm like, crap. And the 2 cards they summon, searches any level 10 Earth Machine, gets back any card engraved. And I'm like, well, I absolutely have to kill this thing this turn. I can't let this thing live. And then if I kill this thing too, I'm screwed, because it just gets it back and it's over. So my only cards I can touch are the stupid baby dragon and the Pegasus. So I decide, oh well. Flip of the Dandy, I decide to forego the effect, turn them into a backup supervisor, and then go into Shooting Code Talker. I love this card. This is, of all the Link 3 Code Talkers, Shooting Code Talker is by far my favorite. I teched this card when I played Marincess back when Master Duel was fresh, and I was never good, but I loved it no matter what. And right here, it serves me so well. He's pointing to a monster, so he gets to make that many attacks plus 1. So he gets 2 attacks. So I attack the Pegasus, destroy it. I attack the baby dragon. End of battle phase, cool, I get to draw 2. The 2 cards I draw are both my trap holes. which is insane. So I'm like, cool, set 3. Dear God, please don't let them have any back row removal. They go Raigeki, I'm like, crap! And then I remembered, wait, I put Basila Lima in the graveyard instead of this trap or this stupid spell. I'm goated. So I get to protect with Basila Lima, and it makes my guy just a little bit bigger. And they drew the Express Train. Then they normal summon Night Express Knight. They exceeds these two into a Gustav. And they activate the effect. I decide to negate it. And I chain my Paleozoic so I get another body on board. Now I could have Void Trapped Hold, but because my fear was thinking about like if they made the other 10 that can make something unaffected. But if I was worried about that, I should have Void Trapped Hold the Gustav, so that if they made that 10 and then activated the effect, I could negate the effect as they activate it, which would destroy it still. And then I never thought I would see the day that my opponent summoned Typhon on me. Like, dude. How? How did I'm playing a Masochist deck, and I managed to get my opponent in a situation where they needed to summon Typhon. That is beautiful. Like, just pure gold. And, hey, this is exactly one of those situations where if I had that, like, Raid Raptor card that I'm playing in the rank 4 deck, they would activate this effect, bounce something back. Cool, I steal it, turn it into a tower that you can't out. Like, oh. But I got the Void to negate it, so he doesn't get to bounce crap. So he sets 1 and passes turn. End phase triggers that to get back the Pegasus, and I'm like, cool, I need to win on this turn or I lose. So I draw, I get this useless card. I can't wait to get rid of it once I get anything better. So I go Bururu at Ignister, and I can send any at Ignister. I decided the best one to send is Gusari, because Gusari, it's got several effects. You can summon it from the hand if a Link monster is destroyed by battle, yours or the opponent's. And then on the field, if my Link monster kills an opponent's monster, I get to Flame Wingman effect it. And then in the graveyard, I can banish it whenever a battle is declared involving a Link monster I have and an opponent's just monster in general, to make both go to 3k. So I can make them crash. So I go shooting card at start of battle phase, then go into battle, then 6, then 12. I go to draw 1, they imperm me. I didn't know what this could have been, and I was a bit worried, so I didn't want to commit. Honestly, I should have just used Bururu and this to go into Phoenix to pop this and get a draw, because then they would negate that, so I don't get the draw, and then I still get the draw off shooting code, which could have been nice. So I'm like, okay, no draw for me. And then I decided I wanted battle protection, so I made Phoenix. Now my reasoning for this was, okay, I have Tie Strike, so if I have battle protection, Tie Strike just saves my life from a battle, and then I have Gusari, which also saves my life from a battle. So even if they go Gustav, burn me for 2k into Lieb, then Tie Strike just wins me the game, because I deal 4k to them and I get to keep my stuff. Because neither of these would be able to be destroyed by battle. But I wasn't thinking like, oh, what if they top deck like Raigeki, or Lightning Storm, like I'm screwed. So what I should have done was Nightmare Cerberus, because then I'm protected from card effects, so they have to go battle, and in battle I'm fine. Because in battle, at least I can trade with one of these cards. It would suck to have to trade, but I could do it. And I'd most likely trade with a Tie Strike, just so I deal, presumably, 4,000 damage to my opponent, which puts them down to 17, which means, assuming they like didn't top deck something else to go along with the cards they have, and it's just a lead, cool. I can just normal summon backlinker, boom, that's battle already, and it's over. Or link into Decode Talker. So I pass. In end phase, they search, and they search Derek Crane. And this is another reason I should have gotten Cerberus. Derek Crane can pop the tie strike, which means my only form of protection is Gasari, which really sucks for me. And because they have Derek Crane, I can't, like, my monsters are at risk. So if they pop a monster, if they pop Phoenix, Shooting Code Talker's at risk. If they pop Shooting Code Talker, Phoenix is at risk. So it's very, very difficult situation. So they go Pegasus, and they target the Bullet Train, and they get to summon the Derek Crane in their hand, and they have one unknown. So they summon, and summon, and they go Pegasus effect. They did not need to. They could have just turned these two into it. They made the one that can make something unaffected, and then they just immediately went to battle. I was so happy when they did this. Because if they just use this card, I'm in such a worse situation. Like, they don't use the Pegasus effect, right? They make Derek Crane in this. I'm assuming they don't have a second Gustav, and they have this. Cool. You just target your own card, and... Or if you're worried about what my back row could be, like, you either target your own card if you're worried about my back row, if you think it affects you, or target one of my cards if you think it affects me. Doesn't matter, because then you Derek Crane, and then you can either pop the back row or pop one of the monsters. Like, technically speaking, the Gusari is known information. So, you should know that, like, whatever you try to attack into my Link, we're both going to choose to die. Which puts them in a situation of, okay, you have to get rid of my Phoenix then, or get rid of my Shooting Code, by using Derek Crane. And then if they do that, it's like, okay, they have an 18, they have a big idiot, I can take out the big idiot, and then I take 18 damage. And then I'm in a really bad situation. They get to search something back in the end phase, because they get the Bullet Train effect, and Bullet Train can just get them back some other card in their graveyard. Like, honestly, like Night Express Knight could even do it, or Ruffian Railcar. And they're so well off. But no, they don't use it, and they go battle phase. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll tie strike. I gain 300, can't be destroyed by battle, but you do, and then they take 32. And because it destroyed something in battle, I was gonna get to draw a card during end phase. Ash Blossom. Dude, this card drew me 2 cards earlier, and then it was gonna draw me another card if I had done Phoenix early, but since I didn't, it baited an Imperm and it baited an Ash. I'm telling you, it's the GOAT. I love this Code Talker card so much, man. I wish it was played more. So then they Express, get back the Pegasus, and now I'm really, like, pretty much out of tricks. But it doesn't matter, they're dead. They have nothing, I check Grave, since like it's over. I draw Jack Jaguar, I'm like, cool. I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna activate the spell so I get progress from my daily challenges, because I need gems. And then I just link into Decode, because I want to make sure I'm getting the gems for the event reward too. Go battle for 900, and then 28s for game. I'm really loving my Masochist decks, man. Like, they have brought me so much joy. There is a lot of sadness that comes with this playthrough, I guess, if you want to call it that. Just from, like, there's a lot of games that you just know, like, I'm not going to win this. It's just better if I leave on the spot to not waste my time. And there's even more games where you sit there for what feels like an eternity, and at one point you realize in the duel, like, oh, they had XYZ, and now what was once a winnable game is just gone. It's over. And it just feels like a waste of time. But the wins that you do get feel so much better, man. Like, the wins I get against, like, an actual deck that isn't just Empty Jar Burn or Chain Energy Burn, or like Exodia FTK, or the stupid Utopia FTK that just bricked. Like, the wins I get on stuff that isn't that feel so much better on a Masochist than if I was playing like a meta strat. Like, I don't have Malice. I don't want to build Malice because it's so expensive. But I find more joy doing this than I do playing like Malice on Omega. Like, this is just so much more fun. Now, speaking of Omega, you might be able to expect a video on that in the coming days. I have some extra time off right now, not from work, I'm still off from that in general, but just from school, because I've finished my assignments for the week, and my next 2 weeks look to be much easier than the previous two. So I should have enough time to work on stuff. At the moment, I'm trying to theory craft more with Genesis. The issue I'm running into with Genesis is the point costs, honestly. There's a lot of cards that are just so strangely point costed. Like, I can see why they would point them this way, but because they don't want them to be too good, like, they don't want the deck to be that strong. But there are some decks that you just outright can't play because of the point cost, which already sucks. There's a lot of decks you can't play because there's no link monsters or no pendulums. Like, I wanted to do Dark Lord Sulfur, but you can't do it because there's no links and no pendulums. So it just doesn't work. Uh, Another deck I want to do, Orcust. I think I will actually try and find the list real quick, I think. Oh, I deleted the replay. It was a ranked one, so I might be able to find it still. There was a duelist I played against in ranked. It was the Orcust guy that I won against in my last Maso video. And it was like a really nice Orcust list. Like, I genuinely did enjoy his list. I thought it was a good list. Definitely not that one. Him. Okay. Like, Droll, if there's any card in Yu-Gi-Oh! I could just permanently remove from existence, it's Droll. I hate this card with a burning passion. And in Genesis, it's a 5 points. So, I haven't gotten to play much Genesis. But with this at 5 points, and Shifter at like 5 or 10 points, both of those cards just say, hey, any deck that searches cards, screw you. Any deck that uses graveyard, screw you. It's like, what's the point in trying to play the game then if you're going to have all these cards at such a low point cost? Make them 50. Make them 100. I hate these cards. Screw them. But for Master Duel, I think this list is quite nice. Just like 3 Girsu, 3 Harpor. I see people play 3 Symbol Skeleton, and I kind of understand why they do it. But at the same time, I don't really like it, because it's not a starter. Because, like, okay, you go Symbol Skeleton, make Galatea Eye, then Galatea Eye effect, send a card to search, probably Crown. And then you go Crown and Galatea Eye for Galatea OG. Then you go Symbol Skeleton, revive the Galatea Eye in your grave, shuffle back Symbol Skeleton to set the, I don't know, Babble, or I guess you could set Continuous Trap. Probably Babble, though. And it's not really that good. Like, you don't want to open the Symbol Skeleton, because on its own it doesn't really do anything. So, like, I definitely think this deck has, like, places it can work on, but I think it's, like, a really tight list. Like, I would see myself playing this if I had all the gems and, like, all the time to play Master Duel without pulling my hair out. But it's just something you can't do in Genesis because there's no links. So, right now, I'm tinkering with 3 decks. There is, all for Genesis, there is a Doomsy Makonko deck, because I believe the Doomsy rank 4 searches any equip spell when it's destroyed, and the Doomsy level 8 monster equips any equip spell to himself when he's summoned. So I combined that with Makonko, which is an archetype I really love because I love the card art, but I know it's not really that good. And Makonko has some new support coming. There is a level 3 illusion that if she is summoned, I believe, summons another Makonko from deck. It's either if she's summoned or if she is equipped. She summons a Makonko from deck. And then you can turn. They're all level 3s, so you turn whenever you summon and her into their new Xyz monster, which doesn't need to be equipped with an equipped spell to do the battle damage effect. And then on its own, you get to detach a material after battle to let it attack again. So she's 3 attacks, which is pretty good. But in Genesis, the ritual monster is, I think, 33 points. The ritual monster is something stupid. It's like 23 points or 33 points, one of the two. And then Water Arabesque is 10 points. So assuming it's 23 points, that's 46 for the ritual plus 30 for Water Arabesque, leaves you with 24 points total. And it's like, okay, well maybe I can find more ways to get to the ritual monster. No, because all of the ritual support cards that you'd want to play, like the pre-preparation of rites, that requires more points, which is like, ugh. So you can forego having pointed hand traps, because you want the deck to go second. It's supposed to go battle. The Doom Z's are in there because it gives you a thing you can do going first. But the deck just doesn't really have that much synergy, so I don't think it's going to be that good. The second Genesis deck I was working on was a Tellarknight deck. Now, I can't really play Tellarknight well, but it's always been one of those decks that I've been interested in, even since I was a kid. Back then, like, I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I still own them, I think. They're in my bulk pile. But I had some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, hot garbage. They, like, literal pack filler. But I remember, my favorite cards growing up were Gilligalancer, which is a level 6 that summons himself, and Tellarknight Betelgeuse? I can't remember how you pronounce his name. Regardless, I've kind of always loved Tellarknights because of the structure deck in Duel Links, which let you make Trigger, which I thought was super cool. So my idea was like, oh, well, I wonder if there's a combo I can do to set up the Tellarknight rank 4 that goes into Tellarknight Xyzes, which I happen to own in Masochist, funnily enough. Dark Tellarknight Ptolemaeus makes all monsters dark, which matters because one of the Tellarknight Xyzes can negate dark effects. And then you get to detach material and discard a card to summon a light Tellarknight from your extra deck using this card, but you can't Xyz summon for the rest of the turn. And if you have 7 or more Tellarknights with different names in your grave, it's a quick effect. So I was like, okay, maybe I can make a combo that gets 7 differently named Tellarknights in the grave. If you've never seen Tellarknights, though, oh my gosh, are they one of the biggest pieces of, like, it's an old deck. If I could play, like, the format when pendulums were first introduced, like, with Tellarknights, I would love to. I would really love to have someone to play, like, old school Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, progression series style. The Tellarknights are one of those cards, or decks, that it feels like they need a very specific type of support. Because in a modern Tellarknight deck, the ratios I've been seeing is like 2 copies of Altarian, 2 copies of Anukulai, 1 Vega, I think like 2 or 3 Altair, 2 or 3 Deneb, 3 Lyran, and like that's all it for the main deck Tellarknights. But the issue is there's not enough ways to summon them, which is ironic because one of the main Playmaker cards, Delteros, this one right here, has a non-once per turn summon from hand or deck. But the issue that this deck faces, in my opinion, is a lack of normal summons. This deck critically needs to be able to normal summon more times. Like, Caduceus kinda works, since you copy an effect, but you have to banish a card. I would much rather send it from deck to graveyard, because that does something. It puts a name in the grave for Dark Teller Betelgeuse. I don't know why they didn't. Because then, if you notice, there's a lot of names, but like this one's just burn, this one's draw, this one's recycling, this one lets you treat them as 5s, this one's get something back at the cost of losing a monster, and this one is a stat buffer that kills it in the end phase. So you're not really playing a lot of these. The ones you're playing, like, by name are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you got 6 main deck ones, and then Delteros should probably be engraved by the end, and maybe a Caduceus. So that's 8. I have to see all of these cards and get them all into the grave for this big long combo just to turn this into a quick effect to make Trigger to bounce the whole board during my opponent's turn. Really? Like, this deck crucially needs a card that you can just summon. Like, they need extenders that you can summon by controlling stuff. This only summons if you summon a Tellarknight while it's in your graveyard. This only summons if it's in your hand when you normal summon a Tellarknight. Now, some of the Constellars, I think it's Constellar Caduceus, they can summon themselves while you control a Tellarknight. But the issue is, there's not enough of them. Because the combo people were doing was running a copy, if I can find it, Sheraton. They run 2 Sheraton, 3 Caduceus. They go Sheraton, search Caduceus, then Caduceus, summon itself, then use Caduceus' effect to add a Constellar Spell Trap, and instead of adding the, like, really good continuous, they play 1 of this. And they only play this because you use it to turn Sheraton into a 4. And then you make Caduceus, and use Caduceus to banish a Lyran, to search Tellarknights, and then use this to summon the Caduceus, and then you turn this into this, and use a spell to turn it back down into a Delteros, and then you Delteros blow itself up, so you can summon an Alteran from deck, and summon back the Delteros, and it's like, okay, cool, now you've got a Delteros, and then 2 4s. Your combo's kind of just done, because a lot of these things require 3. And one of the 4s you have is Caduceus, and a lot of these cards require you to have Tellarknights, and then some of them even say, like, if you summon this card, you can't summon anything but Tellarknights. It's so bad. And there are new cards coming. There is a Tellarknight card that on summon adds you any Tellarknight, I think. But that card has the same issue. It can't summon itself. If that card just said, if you control a Tellarknight monster, you can summon this card from your hand, and then said the rest of its effect, so much better. Like, oh my gosh. And there's another Constellar monster coming out, that on summon, it summons any Constellar from deck. That's great. The deck doesn't need more starters, the deck needs more extenders. Because the issue I noticed with the Tellarknights is a lot of the cards they're playing for, like, if you open this and this is the combo. Like, one of the ones I saw was, if you open a Nuclei and Lyran, there's a combo for that. That plays around Droll as well. But, like, you can't guarantee that. I like it when decks have the ability to be like, okay, here's the combo for this card, here's the combo for this card. So, in the list I'm brewing, I took out Deneb. There's no reason to play Deneb. If you go normal summon Deneb, your turn's done. There's nothing else you can do. You have to specifically open, like, Skybridge. So it's like, okay, but then what was the point? So then it's like, okay, maybe I Deneb later in the turn. Well, no, because you're going for Altair, so you can get back the copy of the Delteros, and then use Delteros again. Oh, maybe I'll do it, like, the second time. Oh no, maybe you're probably going to be using, like, Vega to summon something from your hand to keep extending, or use a Nuclei to send something. So there's just like no point. But then if you're not playing enough of them, hey, guess what? This isn't a quick effect anymore. You're just playing this to turn this into any Tellarknight Light, which is still good, but you're not getting to do the quick effect that was printed on this, that it's clearly intended you make this to make this on your opponent's turn and bounce the whole board. Like, it's whatever. So the final deck that I'm making, and the one that will most likely be getting a video, if not by itself, the other ones will get part in the video, but they will just be like test combos to show like an idea and just a little discussion. The one I'm actually trying to make is a Gold Pride Punk deck, because there is not one card in either of those archetypes that is pointed. There's not a single Punk, there's not a single Gold Pride that has a single point cost. Which means the rest of your points can go to non-engine. So, because Droll and Shifter are such big, annoying idiots, 3 called by immediately. 60 points right off the bat, I don't care. 3 called by. Put in 1 Ghost Ogre for 5 points, now you're at 65 points, you got 35 points to work with. 2 Fua, 2 Molcharmy, or 2 Fua, 2 Perulia, boom, done. If there's any Genesis list I've made that I think will do well, it's that one. Even then, it's probably not the best, since Gold Pride isn't really the best thing to mix with Punk. It's not that good of a deck. It would most likely be better to be playing more of the generic Psychic stuff that was like new stuff like the Serene Psychic Witch, just more extenders. But it's whatever. So, if you enjoyed this video and actually sat here listening to me yap for like an hour and 7 minutes now, thank you very much. I would greatly appreciate if you leave comments either about the Masochist series itself or the future content I've mentioned in this last, 20 minutes or so. Or just anything in general, like how your day's going. I try and check these to make sure I'm not missing any comments since my phone doesn't notify me anymore. But regardless, I hope you have a great day, and remember to drink some water. See ya.